How's it going, everyone? I'm Brody Callahan, and this is going to be a all-encompassing video with everything you need to know before moving into Hassayampa Academic Village at ASU. I'm a freshman year student here studying supply chain management, and before moving in, I had very limited information about the dorm system, the layout of the rooms. In this video, I'll show you my room, which is fully furnished and, there's life to it, and I'll be showing you an empty room. I'll be telling you some of the products and things that I think everyone should have in their dorms, unique dorms on every floor, and just a bunch of, miscellaneous information that I guess I just wish I had before coming to ASU. So to start, this is, the layout of a common room. This is, I'll pop up what the layout is up here, like what you're given, because that's literally all I had to base off, and there weren't even measurements. So I'll put up a full, photo of this same blueprint, but I took measurements in my room with, every difference in a lot of precision. So hopefully that helps you. I'll put that up now. Make sure to pause if you want to, write it down or screenshot, but here it is. Now I'm going to give you a little walkthrough of my room. That was a little walkthrough of what the entire space looks like. Now I'm going to give a little bit more of an in-depth look into the small details of the room, things that you should have in your room, and overall just helpful things to know. Starting with this area, which is the closet space. So there's two different spaces divided by this wall. This side, I believe, is 39 inches wide. This side is 50 something inches. So this side is much larger. They both have the same amount of space above, which we put like our Tide Pods, dryer sheets. I have like a little toolbox, stuff to cut my hair, bags, trash bags, just miscellaneous stuff for a room. He has his clothes he packed pretty lightly. I brought a lot of golf things because I golf a lot. If you plan on rushing, doing any sort of Greek life and you're a guy, bring at least a navy suit jacket because that's what everyone's wearing this year. I bought this shoe rack at Target, I believe. It is very nice just for organization because it's such a small space. Having your things all over the place gets messy quick. Have my golf clubs. Every room comes with a recycling can and a trash can. We bought this little floor spatial rug. I think it's very nice. It's $20 and it kind of makes it feel more homey. We have another mat here. This is the sink space. My roommate has his stuff over here. I have my stuff over here. Every room has a little, cabinet, which I took these three. He has the top one. He just doesn't have as much stuff as me. So we just worked that out on our own. Under the sink, we have our toilet plate paper. I got these little storage racks just because how little space there is. Maximizing your areas is very helpful, but that was the little closet space. Now I'm going to move on to the room itself. All right, so I've seen a lot of layouts in rooms, which I'll show you a couple. I'll show you my suite mate's room, and then I'll show you the empty room. We laid our beds out, like parallel to each other. And first, I'll focus over here. So this is my desk. I bought a chair off Amazon or Walmart. I think it was like $60. As someone who studies a lot in my room, I heavily recommend this because the chairs they give you, they're just not great, if I'm being honest. So if you plan to, study a lot or be in your room for any time at all, I really like it. I also got a desk lamp, which is on the Amazon list, which will be in the description below, which just has a bunch of items that I bought for my dorm and I recommend everyone having. The desk comes with the room. This is another one of the things that comes with the room. It's small, but it does the trick. I put my air purifier on my desk, which the air in this dorm is genuinely terrible. You need an air purifier. There's just a lot of dust from the air vents. So get an air purifier. But my roommate's desk, we kind of have it set up so our spaces are pretty similar. I'm gonna move the camera so you can see the other side. Now you can better see the beds and the layout. So this wall is pretty short, and he kept the bed tucked up against this. I think it's fine. The way we figured it out is he got the shorter side of the room, he got the bigger side of the closet, and I got the bigger side of the room, the smaller closet, which didn't really work out because he doesn't have a bunch of clothes, but that's what we decided on. This is our fridge. This was something I got at Walmart for like 150 bucks. We decided not to rent the fridge. I know a lot of people did. The rental fridges are good, but we kind of just assumed that fridges are something we could sell at the end of the year if we didn't want to keep, and so that's what we decided. This is a little nightstand. I really recommend, storage is very limited. I put all my snacks and things in this nightstand, some of my more personal things. Then my bed is up against the wall in the corner. Yeah. I'll show you. I have a little bed rug just so when I get out of bed you can, you're not stepping on the Hassy carpets. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but these little cabinets also are standard in all the rooms. I decided to, put all my clothes and things in them, but yeah, I know some people just put, miscellaneous things in there. But that's what I decided to do. It does fit under the bed, which is nice to know. It's also the exact same height as the desk, so when I go into my suite mate's room, you'll be able to see, how they kind of set it up differently. And I think they're both fine. It's all just up to personal preference, but yeah. The next space we will be going into is the bathroom. So the bathrooms are shared. It's kind of a Jack and Jill style setup. The wall colors are orange, green, and then there's a beige bathroom. I think the lime green is absolutely ugly, but beggars can't be choosers. It's completely random. It's not by floor. Like our neighbors have beige, and then 2 doors down it's orange. I don't think there's a pattern, so there's really no way to know. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but the way we set up the bathroom is we all got different color towels, so like black, gray, blue, and then we all set up our things below our towels. The floor mats are very helpful. I would definitely recommend some sort of, one of these, like a little rubber mat, or to wear shower shoes. I bought the rubber mat and haven't had any issues, but I also wore shower shoes for the first like couple months before, well, I was like still feeling out my roommates and, you know, just to be safe. But yeah. Here you can see how they set up their desks differently and their cabinets. They're all the same height. So we put the TV here, and just because of, you know, the way this bed is set up, we can have like 2 or 3 people sitting here, someone on this bed, and then I moved my chair into this room. So there's my chair and then their 2 chairs. And it overall just makes it a really nice room to kind of hang out. We have, you know, movie nights sometimes, or we play 2K and just have guys hanging out in here. And overall, it's pretty nice. But yeah, you can see, I'd say either way with the beds works. It's all just personal preference. Very, very different look. But now I'm going to show you what your room will look like, bare empty. One thing I really forgot to touch on in my room is the absolute lack of natural light in the rooms. At nighttime, there's no light. The main rooms have no light fixtures, so every room has come equipped with this light, which is set up to a switch, and this light. That's all though. In this room, it comes with a light switch, which goes to the top outlet. So in our room, you saw the string lights. I hooked that all up to the light switch. So when you go in, you flip on the lights and you have light everywhere. I really think it's a personal touch. In our room, I know some people just have a floor lamp. That's what Preston and Arius have. Some girls have hung up like LED strips. But with that, be cautious, because in these rooms, the walls aren't sticky, like things don't stick to them. So if you plan to put something on your walls, get command strips, or just get something like a floor light. But this is a walkthrough of the room. It's a little dark, but it's better than nothing. So that will be the conclusion of the room segment itself. I showed you a walkthrough of my room, my suite mate's room, and an empty room. Just again, while we're in here, I'll show you the lights that I have set up in our room. So I hung these up at the beginning of the year. I learned about the switch, so when you can see when I turn it off, all of those lights turn off. And when I turn them on, it's a kind of a homey feel. A lot of people don't have that just because it's kind of a lot of work, like plugging it into that specific outlet. But also, if you're wondering why your outlet doesn't work, it's because the switch is off and you need to turn it on. If you have a fridge, I really recommend that you don't plug it into the switch, because if someone by accident turns it on, turns it off, and everything goes bad, that would be awful. But we are in floor 2 of Hassay H, and there is a beautiful tree blocking our view. But another thing to note with our windows is there is a light out shader, like shade, that kind of dims it. That's what I had before. And then there's a blackout. So if I decide I want to sleep in one night and I just don't want to deal with the sun in the morning to wake me up, I will use both of them, and it's actually pretty solid with not getting any light into your room. Another worry that I had, I know this is kind of random, but the air conditioning in Hassay is great. And if there's any, anything wrong with it, or, it's not getting cold, it's too cold, whatever it might be, you can talk to your CA and file a service request and they fix it very quickly. I've had no issues with mine. I know some people have issues with them. But now we're going to move on to the building as a whole instead of rooms. One perk of Hassayampa is it's free, so each floor has 3 washers and 3 dryers. Next to the laundry rooms on floor 1, 2, 4, and 6, there is a study room. On floors 3, 5, and 7, there are lounge rooms, which I'll show you. But in the study rooms, it's just a little table and some chairs. I usually come here if I'm calling anyone in my family or just want a little bit of privacy and quiet time. Every study room has a thermostat, so if you run cold or run hot, you can, personalize it to yourself. But yeah, I'll go show you the lounge rooms on the 3rd floor. All right, so I was actually wrong about the laundry rooms. There's a laundry room on every floor, but there are only lounges on the 1st, 3rd, and 5th floor. Every lounge has this little, kitchen space. I know there's a fridge. You can leave stuff in there if you'd like, but because it is a shared space, it might get taken. But I come here to do our dishes just because there's a bigger sink. There is a stove or oven. My floor it's never happened, but we've talked about, baking cookies or, having days like that. On the other side of this room, there is a kind of lounge area. So there's a couch, chair, there's a TV in here. We have floor meetings every month or so, maybe every 2 months, where we all come here and just talk about stuff. But yeah, this is a nice space that, is given to us. So yeah. So here's a look of the outside of Hassayampa H. Here you can see the 4 sky bridges. So the one on the 2nd floor, 3rd floor, and 4th floor. That side of the building only has 4 floors, but Hassay H has 7 floors. I have a few friends who are on the 7th floor. I don't know if you guys know, but Hassayampa has issues with flooding. So I would recommend to be as high as you can be, just because if you're on the 7th floor, there's no one who can leak water into you, which is nice. But I am on the 2nd floor. I kind of chose to be on the 2nd floor because I just take the stairs to get to my room. It's not happened this year, but I know in past years the elevators have broke, and when that happens, going to the 7th floor is much less enjoyable of a task. So I'm on the 2nd floor. There's no view, which kind of sucks. I'd probably recommend to be on the 7th floor. But yeah, I'm now back in my room. I'd like to, kind of just address a couple questions. If you leave any comments on this video, I'll be sure to get to them quickly and answer them if I'm able to. But I went random when it came to my roommate. I was paired with Ryuku. He's an international student from Japan. He's a really cool guy. My suite mate Preston also went random, and he got Arius, who's also a really cool guy. I know some people have like horror stories where they don't get along with their roommates, but we got very lucky and have a great environment. As a student from St. Louis, I don't really have any, I didn't have any friends from back home coming here, and I think the first couple weeks is very open and a lot of people are trying to make new friends, so I became very close to a lot of people on our hall, and we've gotten a very tight-knit friend group. But those first couple weeks, if you're ever worried about I don't know anyone, will I be able to make friends? Everyone's trying to hang out with everyone and meet everyone, so there's no need to be scared to go out and put yourself out there. A lot of people will actually come to you the first couple weeks, which is nice. The Hassay rooms overall are nice. They all have their issues. Again, there's a lot of flooding, so if you want to be in a higher room, you'll have a better view and will be less likely to get moved out. The room I was in, those people actually got moved out because there was flooding in their walls, which is really unfortunate. So I'm trying to think of any last minute things, but make sure to look at my checklist below this video. It's just an Amazon storefront for some ideas. I have an iPad Air with the M3 chip, and I use GoodNotes to take all my notes for all of my classes, and I personally prefer it. I took hand notes for the first couple weeks, and it just ended up being redundant. I started using my iPad. It's much more organized for people that don't need a TV. An iPad's nice if you want to watch a show. I personally recommend it a lot. It's in no way required, but on the topic of technology, I have a ThinkPad for my laptop, but as a business major, a lot of people were like, you need to have a Windows laptop, but I know a lot of people that have Macs or, Chromebooks. I'd stay away from Chromebooks, but MacBooks are it's a little more challenging to use things like Excel, which you use in CIS 105, which is a freshman course. But if you have a MacBook, don't feel like you need to switch, or vice versa. I have a ThinkPad and I like it a lot. But on the checklist, I would say get pillows, because there's no headboards on the bed. So I use 3 pillows and it works just fine. Ryuku makes it work with just 2. With water, the water service at Hassay is the water service is good. It's offered through the school. I don't have it because it's a little expensive, but we just go through jugs of water. We started at the beginning of the year, we would get cases of water, individual water bottles, because at Costco you can get 32 bottles or 36 bottles for $4, and that would last us. It was cheaper for us, but we have to go to Costco, which we've been not doing just because we're lazy college students. But I know a lot of people that have the water service and like it. I've been fine with just getting water at the pod market, using M&G, but the sink water here in Hassay alone, you cannot drink. It's just not, I guess you can, but I advise against it. It does not look good. There's stuff in it. It's just bad. So get a Brita, get the water service, or buy bottles. Going on from that, talking about meal services, I have the maroon plan, which is 10 swipes a week, and I want to say like $700 of M&G or something like that. I have a lot of people that I'm friends with that have the unlimited plan. The issue with the unlimited plan is a lot of people don't go to the dining hall that much, and it's more expensive and has less M&G, which is our dining dollars. So I had the maroon, which is the most M&G, and still 10 swipes a week. I thought that wouldn't be enough swipes, but not one time have I used all my swipes through the week. And having the M&G is nice because we have a lot of things on campus. We have a Chick-fil-A, a Jimmy John's. There's a place called Spitz at Vista, which has Mediterranean food. There's Osaka, which is like Chinese food. There's a bunch of places on campus that accept M&G, and I'd say to just get the maroon plan if you eat a lot, or to get the gold plan, which is the lowest and least expensive, and just using the money at something like Costco or shopping for yourself. There's a Trader Joe's within walking distance, which I know a lot of students go to. I go there just to get like my produce, like grapes or like chips or any sort of bars. But that's my personal insight on dining, and I think that's about all. Make sure you have a fridge, make sure you get a microwave, check out my list for anything you might need. Get some sort of lights, some sort of water filter, or the water plan. But yeah, know if you have any questions to leave them in the comments below. If you found this video at all helpful, like it because it makes me feel happier and feel like I didn't waste my time making this. And yeah, go Sun Devils.